Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is a quick preview and prediction for Josh Warrington versus Mauricio Lara 2. This fight goes down on the 4th of September. It takes place at the Headingley Rugby Centre in Leeds, and in the UK and USA, this card will be on DAZN, and all in all, I am actually looking forward to this fight. First and foremost, as we know, first time these two guys fought, Mauricio Lara knocked out Josh Warrington in the 9th round of their fight, and at the time it was viewed as a big upset. Essentially, Mauricio Lara, he really was a tune-up fight, in all honesty. That's how it was being billed. Josh Warrington vacated his IBF title at featherweight, and he was in search of bigger fights, and Mauricio Lara really was brought in to be a mark-in-time fight, but obviously that's not how it panned out. For my money, Warrington got hurt quite early on, and he never really recovered in that fight, and eventually he got knocked out, so it was a bit of an upset at the time. And, you know, coming round to this second fight, this rematch, it's a big fight for Josh Warrington. A lot's on the line, a lot's at stake, and I like those sort of fights. If Josh Warrington were to lose again, his career would be in a really bad way, and Mauricio Lara would go on to fight for world titles. And if Warrington can somehow win the rematch, he's basically back to square one at world level. So there's a lot on the line here for both guys, but in particular, Josh Warrington. His career really is at stake in this fight, whereas Lara could really lose this fight, and he'll still get other opportunities based on that first fight. So yeah, I like the high stakes nature of this fight in regards to the Josh Warrington side of things. And yeah, all in all, these guys in general should always deliver a pretty fun fight to watch. So yeah, all in all, I'm definitely looking forward to this fight. Now let's briefly break down the tale of the tape. We shall start with Mauricio Lara, as he was the winner of the last fight. Mauricio Lara has a record of 22 wins, 2 defeats, 0 draws, 15 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Josh Warrington has a record of 30 wins, 1 defeat, 0 draws, 7 of his 30 wins coming by way of knockout. So obviously by those amount of fights, Warrington is the more experienced dude. He's fought a better level of competition, but obviously that didn't matter last time around, and quite frankly, Mauricio Lara, when you look at the records, is just the bigger puncher, and he proved that in the first fight. Mauricio Lara is listed as 5'7", but I can't find his reach anywhere, but you know, he's a well-sized heavyweight. Josh Warrington, he's also listed as 5'7", and his reach is listed as 67 inches. So essentially these guys, they are of a similar size. Mauricio Lara is 23 years old, whereas Josh Warrington is 30 years old. So Lara has the advantage of youth in this fight, and he's certainly got less miles on the clock in comparison to Josh Warrington. And both of these guys are orthodox fighters. Now the tale of the tape is out of the way, let's break down the fight, what I believe each guy should do, and then I will pick my winner at the end of the video. I guess we'll start with Josh Warrington. As we know, it went horribly wrong last time out for Josh Warrington. In my opinion, he fought a stupid fight, he made a lot of mistakes, and he basically gave Lara the opportunity to knock him out, and that's exactly what he did. Now, when I go back and watch the first fight, one thing I noticed about that fight was Warrington initiated a lot of those attacks, and because Josh Warrington sat in front of Lara too long, those attacks basically initiated into exchanges. And when you're Josh Warrington, a guy who's fit, who's strong, but can't really punch, you're going to be in trouble when you do that against a puncher like Lara. And the problem for Josh Warrington, in my opinion, in the first fight was that he was getting too greedy in landing his combinations. In this second fight, I believe Warrington needs to fight in a much more disciplined fashion, and essentially with like an in and out type of fashion. You know, do what he was doing in the first fight, closing the distance, landing a 2 or 3 punch combination, and at that point, get out, make Lara reset, and essentially rinse and repeat. I don't believe Mauricio Lara has particularly great footwork. I don't believe he's all that great at cutting the ring off. Warrington gave him all of the opportunities he needed in that first fight by, in my opinion, fighting an ill-disciplined fight. So This time around, Warrington needs to be a lot more calculated when he launches his attacks, and when he does, he needs to be very cautious of getting out. He can't afford to sit in the pocket too long against Lara, who's a big puncher. Another thing in this fight, in which he wasn't really doing all that much in the first fight, is utilising that jab, trying to keep Mauricio Lara occupied, trying to keep Mauricio Lara distracted, off balance. The lack of a jab in that first fight was telling, in my opinion. He used it nowhere near enough. Now, Josh Warrington, he's not exactly a prolific jabber, but I've seen him jab a lot more than he did against Lara, so I want to see Josh Warrington also utilise that jab when he's got Lara at arm's length. Lara's a guy who basically walks forwards, quite square on, and he'll look to load up with those hooks and looping power shots. Lara himself doesn't really jab his way in, and when you're fighting a guy who comes in like that, square on, looking for wide looping shots, a good jab, half step back, is a really good way of obviously keeping the guy at distance, but also making him reset, keeping him off balance, and making it harder for him to set for his power shots. So a jab in this fight is extremely important for Josh Warrington. I believe he's got the athleticism to carry out this sort of game plan. Warrington does have relatively quick feet. He can move around, he's got quick enough hands. He can throw combinations, no doubt about it, but he just can't afford to be so gung-ho in this fight. When I look at both guys technically, I don't really believe Mauricio Lara does anything better than Josh Warrington. Lara just has that gas tank, that strength, that power, and that durability. And really, again, first time around, I felt Josh Warrington gave Lara way too many chances, and it's up to him in this rematch to reduce the chances that Lara has. Obviously, Lara's going to land shots in this fight, he's going to have success, but Warrington just needs to keep that to a minimum, because Warrington did take a lot of shots from Lara in that first fight. I've got no doubt that Warrington can take a few shots, but he can't afford to take too many in this rematch. And Warrington in this fight needs to be a lot more in and out. He needs to be paying a lot more attention to defense. This isn't a shop-worn Carl Frampton. This isn't a guy in Lee Selby who can't really punch. It's a strong Mexican kid who's got a good chin, a big heart, and a big punch. So he needs to try and take that away from Lara. He needs to take the play away from Lara. And I believe he's got the skill set to at least fight a much better fight this time around. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But, one thing about this fight we have to consider, the crowd. First time around, there was no crowd, right? Josh Warrington is a guy who really kind of buys into crowd energy. There's no doubt about it. And so far in his career, it's served him really well. But at times, it can make fighters make mistakes. It can bolden them a little too much. And again, against someone like Lara, that could be a recipe for disaster. So also, Warrington needs to hone his emotions going into this fight. First time he's fought in front of a crowd for a little while now. He can't afford to let that get to his head. Otherwise, his head might be in row Z. You like that? You like those bars? But now let's get on to Mauricio Lara. Again, Lara obviously needs to do what he did first time around in regards to coming in shape with great cardio and apply pressure, right? He needs to do that again. But, I would like to see Mauricio Lara try to add a jab to his game. I do have a feeling Warrington's going to be a lot more circumspect in this fight. He's going to be moving a bit more. And a jab from Mauricio Lara coming forwards could be a great way for Lara to maneuver Warrington around the ring and place him in position where he's stationary on the ropes in the corner. A jab is a great tool to cut the ring off. So I want to see much more of a jab from Mauricio Lara, and also a bit more attention to defense. Try and soak up the offense of Josh Warrington, keep a tighter guard. Lara was very open in the first fight. He got caught by a lot of shots. Warrington couldn't hurt him, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the worst idea for Lara to pay a bit more attention to defense. Just come forwards with a nice high guard, keep nice and compact, fire that jab down the middle, and try and walk Josh Warrington down. And when Lara has Warrington where he wants him, don't neglect the body. Josh Warrington is a guy who fights with a lot of attrition. He throws a lot of punches, and he's got a lot of energy in his style. So the body work of Lara in this fight could be very important. again, one minor criticism from the first fight. I don't think Lara went to the body enough. When he hurt Josh Warrington to the head, he was really headhunting, looking for the killer shot, and he got it in the end, so that's all well and good, but in this rematch, I think the bodywork of Mauricio Lara could be a lot more important. So, yeah, when he does have Warrington stationary on the ropes in the corner, Lara needs to try and work that body a bit, in my opinion. And one more thing in this fight, try not to wait for Josh Warrington to start the exchanges. Warrington actually started a lot of the exchanges in the first fight. I want to see Lara try and initiate Josh Warrington and make Josh Warrington fight his fight. Warrington last time, again, in my opinion, just gave a game away. He gave a play to Lara. Lara never really made him fight that way. Warrington just, in my opinion, fought a dumb fight. So yeah, I want to see Lara in this fight be first a lot more. I want to see Lara try to initiate the exchanges more so than relying on Josh Warrington to. And yeah, you know, Lara just needs to bring that strength, that power with a couple of adjustments. If he does that, he's got a great chance, as we know. We know Lara can hurt Josh Warrington. We know he can knock him out. So going into this rematch, you know, Lara's confidence is going to be sky high, but he can't afford to let that get to his head either. You know, it's going to be a different occasion this time around, in my opinion. The atmosphere is going to be different. The stakes are higher. Warrington knows what he's in there with. So, you know, being the same Mauricio Lara again might not be enough. So he needs to go in there and make improvements as well. There's no doubt about it. But ultimately, I'm sure you can tell by the way I'm talking about this fight, I am excited by it. I like this fight. I think it's a good card as well. You've got Giovanni Straffon versus Maxi Hughes on the undercard, which I really like. You've got Conor Benn, Adrian Granados on the undercard. I like that fight as well. It's a pretty decent fight. So I'm actually quite excited by this card, top to bottom. But enough of my jabbering. Who am I going to pick to win this fight? Well, I might surprise people. I'm going to go with the underdog. Again, I say underdog. I'm not sure what the bookies are saying, but most boxing fans I talk to are picking Mauricio Lara in the rematch. But I'm going with Josh Warrington to win this fight on points. I believe he's going to have some shaky moments in this fight. He'll probably get hurt. Who knows? He might even get dropped. But I've got a feeling you're going to see a lot more cautious approach by Josh Warrington. I believe he'll fight in the style or a similar style to what I kind of described, kind of in and out, picking his spots, not getting too greedy, and I think he'll play it relatively safe by Josh Warrington standards, and I think that's going to end up him winning the fight on points, but who knows, I could be wrong. I'm not confident in that pick either. You know, I was thinking about this fight yesterday, and I was kind of leaning towards Mauricio Lara, so no matter when I do this prediction video, my mindset isn't really going to be set on a winner. I'm not going to be confident, but I thought I'd put something out there. The way I feel right now is that Warrington wins this fight on points and gets his revenge. But I am really looking forward to it. It's a good fight. It's a really good fight. But anyway, enough of my jabbering. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you could, tell me how you feel. Who are you picking to win this fight and how? Share your thoughts below. Drop a comment. If you could smash the like, be much appreciated. And of course, hit that subscribe button for top-notch boxing content I'm playing. But yeah, thank you guys. Peace.